Hello everyone, and welcome to session or episode number 39 of Requiem. We are one away from 40. From big number. Anyway, welcome in. Today we have Fish joining us from a mental institution. Hence the completely white background that you might not recognize. It appears the Weaver's actually gotten to Emily. So she went there for max roleplay ambiance that she could get. And so that's the situation. But she's here, she's playing with us. So you be thankful, you fucking bitches. Anyway. I was talking to chat, not you guys. You guys are wonderful. You're no bitches. Anyway. Let's get into this game because things are about to get hot. With a quick little recap of what happened in the previous episode. So, our wonderful heroes, last time we left off, which was a long time ago, had returned from Gand, city of the Emerald Flame. And from that city they brought a little emerald, or a big emerald, raw emerald, obsidian veined all over. They talked to Wiley. They figured out how to use this emerald, and that it might contain a memory, something that they could use, an additional piece of information that could be either worth protecting from the Weaver or actually helpful to them. It required a little bit of a sacrifice. Wiley had to stab herself in the gut where her son is, I guess, gestating. Son or daughter. And drop her blood on the gem because it could only react to Dragonsbane blood. After that sacrifice, a perfectly circular or perfectly smooth sphere was revealed. It almost looked like an eye of sorts, emerald colored as well. Heroes touched it. At the same time, they even did a countdown to make sure that they touch it right at the same time. And they got taken into a vision of the past, which was story time essentially. So if anyone here is interested in story time, they can go back and watch. But from that vision that they saw through the perspective of Alanor the Gentle, a dragon that guided the elves thousands of years ago, they found out where the body of the Cinder Sky Mizarion is. Frostgrave, south of the continent of Ipsa, very far away from where they are now. But our hero's mission is not to go there. The one thing that they set out to do when they started this journey was to find Aiden Dragonsbane, and find Aiden Dragonsbane is what they still have to do. The man who is now locked somewhere in the depths of Pelendan, the city from where the Weaver has been moving his little strings. After story time, there's a little bit of a reunion. Emily got to see her parents as they were brought back and rescued by Thurihad. And by two figures that were unknown to the party, but, well, to the characters, but very well known to at least two of the players for sure. Tunalasia Meadow Falls and Sagrin Bladium met our heroes, characters from the previous campaign that we ran in this world, and they helped in the rescue of Emily's family. After some emotional moments, not exactly pertaining to family reunion, but more seeing the old characters interaction, our heroes split up to sleep, because in the following morning, a council of war awaited them. A council where the leaders of every single potent army in this continent were being gathered. Well, not all of them. There were two that were suspiciously missing. Anyway, as Vesper went to sleep after reading a scroll left behind by her master, her fallen master, and Haj Dalgaar going to sleep alone once again, because he's a cleric, and Emily going to sleep next to her family, we will address each one of you in a moment, because Violet was out and about, walking in the city of From, in the roots in this enormous, miles-wide cave. She found the temple of Meodref, the sanctuary of the root. And as she sat down by a bench right next to a fountain that flowed upwards, she spoke to her goddess. And from that water a woman appeared. A wood elf with kind of big red mane of spiky hair, covered in leaves and roots and vines, kind of dirty and patches of mud and dust kind of stuck and caked to her face, who sat down next to Violet. And as Violet asked her how could she know that Ketri, Violet's daughter, was all right, the woman answered, simply faith. And that is where we're picking up the session. The woman is sat next to you, looking at you in a very kind of, you look at her face and it looks like she's just finished a day's work.
Faith. You're talking about faith. I have faith to spare. I have faith in you. I have faith in us. How can I have faith that she is going to be all right? After what we've seen. She's just a little girl.
I don't think you give her enough credit, Violet. And also, isn't that exactly what faith is? You just don't know, right? You just have to hope. I think that's what the world needs now.
Will I need faith and hope when she turns into one of them and I have to kill her?
What makes you think Ketri would ever turn into one of them?
I don't know. After what I've seen, them turning grime into nothing.
Have you turned into one of them?
No.
Did you not raise Ketri?
I did.
Then have faith in your own ability. You'd be surprised how much of you is in her, despite you just having adopted her. I can't know if she's alright. My vision of Pelandan is clouded, as is all of my brothers and sisters. But I saw her before. And if she's anything, well, before all of this, before she was taken. And if she's anything now that she was before, then I trust that you will be fine.
Well, if a goddess is telling me that, I guess there's nothing to do except having hope.
It's not really that hard. It's brought you this far.
And friendship.
I would argue that it is the easiest way. We just tell ourselves that it isn't. I have been very close to my instincts, and to the instincts of this world. It's my domain, after all. And I feel that. I think that that's our instinct. We just keep telling ourselves that it isn't.
I think Violet won't answer and just look kinda defeated. But with a little spark on her eye, with a bit of hope.
Do you know what tomorrow might entail, Violet?
Big meeting with the most powerful people of, I want to say Kaifam?
Yes.
Kaifam.
I did not choose you as one of my champions because of your knowledge of geography. You don't have to worry.
I really hope you did not. You would be very disappointed.
I know geography pretty well. You kind of have to when you're in my position.
Yeah. I know
But
how to fight. I hope that's enough.
Do you... Well, I'll just tell you this. Or I'll ask you a question. What is your deepest, most pure instinct that you have, Violet?
Right now? Right now is to kill them.
And why do you do that?
To make this world free. Free of choice.
I'll ask you to remember where you started. Why did you start doing this?
Provide a life to Ketri, to us.
Then I'll ask again. What's your purest instinct?
To protect her.
A mother should always protect her children. Violet, the choice will always be yours. Just remember that. If there ever comes a moment where you think that it's either her or this world, remember that I will not condemn you for the choice that you make, because that is what we are defending in our world right now. And also remember that with just that little bit of hope and faith, as long as the ending is not known, you can hope. Remember that just because you choose her, that doesn't mean you can't save the world either.
Thank you.
Well, I think you've probably slept enough. And she's gonna touch you in the forehead, and you wake up in the bench You would just fallen asleep there.
Oh, fuck, but wait! How do I defeat the undead dragon?
Undead dragon.
Call Eagle! Anyway. Anything else you wish to do, Violet?
No, I'll just marinate on her words just a little bit.
Let's go get some
and then
sauce.
I'll go.
It's gonna get cooked.
And then I'll go to sleep.
Fair enough. Well, then let's hippity hoppity into Emily's room, where she is with her family. Emily, I will ask you if there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask, anything you want to do, or if you just want to go to sleepy.
I want to ask how the tavern is.
Your mother's gonna... Well, dear, it's no more. Burned to the ground. It had to happen. We were doing very well, though. We had money saved. And then Berdam, your father, goes, which was also inside the tavern. And right now we have no way of finding. And your mother says, well, but it's probably gold, right? If someone were to throw a really big ball of fire into the tavern, it wouldn't melt the gold, right, honey? Right? Emily?
Well, if you need, I can give you money at least.
Oh,
I don't have much, but
no, I don't think we need. We have some on us. We have enough to and the lady and the big bald man. No hair on his body. You know, and you hear brother go. I don't think that's appropriate to discuss in front of your daughter.
hey, I'm an adult, okay? I'm grown up.
Right, but it's just that I'm your father, and she's discussing hairless men in front of me and in front of you.
Oh, I don't mind it.
I do. And Emily goes, oh, fuck, he's just a little bit jealous because he got carried like a goat. It's just like the man said. But we'll I don't know what we'll do, but we'll figure it out. You don't have to worry about us, Emily. You just worry about your own things. You're doing something important, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or at least I'm trying to.
Well, that's all we can ask of you, right? And Berdam goes, yes, and you don't sell yourself short. I'm sure that you're not going to try to do anything. I'm sure you're going to do it. You've always been that kind of girl, right? You wanted to leave and you left us alone, and Amelia kind of starts patting him the shoulder. Well, your daughter had to grow up eventually, right? And be an adventurer and all that. I know you wanted to be one too. I could have if I wanted to. But, you know, it's just life at the tavern. It's busy, and someone had to take care of things. He just looks to the side. But yes, honey, I agree with your father. Just it seems like you've made some amazing friends. You know, dragonborn, full of armor, with a harpoon that's very shiny, you know. And then there's that woman. She didn't look like, you know, she didn't look like the smiley type, which I'm surprised that you're with someone like that. But you know, you have to make friends of all kinds, right? And then the lizard folk lady, she's very pink, very pink. But you know, you always liked a lot of colors too, right? It's so that's I hope you like them all, right? They've been taking care of you.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, that's good.
I miss home, though.
Hmm.
Haven't been home in a long time, and now I can't even go back. Or maybe we'll just rebuild it in the same place.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? Do you know? I mean, you knew spells when you left. Do you know better spells now that can help us do that? Maybe.
You think this helps? And I cast precipitation or minor illusion just to make a small flower with like a small rainbow on my hand.
Well, that certainly helps. Yes, honey. I bet that will make the people rebuilding the tavern much happier if you do that around them.
Or I can make people do it at my will
That might be a crime.
for no money.
That might be a crime.
Oh,
Let's.
you sure?
I'm pretty sure that's
But
a
then we
crime.
don't have to pay. Oh,
Indeed, but that's a crime.
but I'll be the hero. I'll be the hero that saved everyone. So
I think-
they'll just...
I think heroes can still commit crimes, honey, and I don't.
No,
Yeah.
I've never done that. Yeah,
Your father's like looking at your mother, kind of scared of you for a moment. Well, we'll find a way. We'll go back home and we'll rebuild and we'll do everything. We'll put it back the way it was, and maybe you can play at home. Did you get a chance to play anywhere else? Have you been practicing?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Even if people don't want to hear me, I play.
Don't forget to play with Celine Dion.
Yes. It wasn't her, but
I know that.
You played with Sea Line Dion?
yes, and she loved me.
We
I
tried
was
to.
better.
I'm sure you were, honey. We tried to. We tried to get her to play at the inn, or at the tavern, but she said no. She said she was she said it wasn't a big enough venue for her.
I'll invite her when everything ends. We'll do like this super cool party with everyone there. Yes.
We could maybe it could be the relaunching of the tavern.
Yeah.
And maybe we can call it the Emily Tavern. We'll workshop the name.
No. Yes.
It's fine.
There's only the Emily, okay?
Oh,
Just one.
Of course, honey. Yeah, you're our only daughter, so there's only one of you.
Yeah.
And also, we wouldn't name our other daughter Emily if we had another one. That would probably be a problem. We're both very proud of you, if you were ever wondering, and we're very grateful to be here with you. But I'm still your mother, and so it's getting late. And
I want to ask you first if you remember reading me a book when I was a kid.
I remember reading you quite a few of them. Which one specifically?
About the Big Blue.
Oh, Magical Journeys of Big
Adventures?
Blue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did read it to you, yeah.
Where did you get it? Do you remember?
It was, in Mogrand. Maybe more back then than now, because things have been getting a little bit crazy, and there's been, there was this situation. I only heard of it that was near Mogrand, regarding this kind of shadow creature that was released somewhere in the woods. But before, it was the people of Mogrand, especially incentivized by Count Matthias. They were really into, developing their culture. Let's just say there were quite a few clubs to read books and to find books in, and I found the book there in one of those clubs. It was given to me by just a member there. That's no one in specific, but why? Is it special in some way?
I like it. I like the book. Let's go sleep.
Okay, let's go to
I'm
sleep.
tired. And then I hug her, and while I'm hugging, I place like 5 gold coins in her pocket without her realizing.
All right. I'll say that you can do it easily enough because you're a 15th level adventurer now, and she's mom.
She's mom.
So she won't notice it. And I'll say if you don't want it, your dad won't notice it either.
Yeah.
All right. So you go to sleep. A moment. I can't find it. Oh. You go to sleep, Emily. And let's fast forward a little bit in your sleep. Shall we? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find the song that I want and I can't find it.
By the way, I also want to do something before we sleep.
We're gonna get to all of you. I promised, and I will deliver.
Yeah, I know. Just because I already did my thing, but I want to do another thing because I remembered. I want to do 2 things.
More
Onion
thing.
is trying to find like a boss song right now, so that I can.
Not at all.
Oh, it's not a boss. Ooh, okay.
Emily. First of all, if I recall correctly, you had an insanity point. Or 2, right?
2. 2.
With this conversation with your parents, you have lost 1.
Yay!
Flowers.
You are at 1 insanity point right now, which means...
Yay, I'm just a little bit cuckoo. Oh, instead of being cuckoo, I'm cool.
your ass in Portuguese.
Emily has always been cool.
Or
not in
neck.
Portuguese in English.
Or neck in French.
Yeah.
Anyway. You go to sleep, Emily. Close your eyes. Thinking for a moment. Thinking more than you're used to. And I don't mean this as an insult, but it's just when you're tired, you just fall asleep quickly, I would assume. But you think on on things a little bit. You think on all the doubts that you proposed to your friends, to Wiley, if you should really be doing this. And kind of breaching those doubts. Opening up in this space of blackness. You see a yellow, slitted eye. And these runes begin igniting over the eyebrow of the eye, revealing an outline of blue scales around the eye. And you hear,
"Hello, Emily. Remember to always take your stories with you and open them up when they matter the most."
and the eye closes. And that's what happens.
He's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
He better live.
And you just go back to sleep without waking up, as if it had never happened, but you will remember it when you wake up. And now we're gonna hippity hoppity elsewhere if Emily's all done. All right.
Yes.
Let's hippity hoppity to Vesper.
Oh no.
Oh, and also Emily, while you sleep, your appearance is going to change. So you think on how you're going to look because of that thing. But Vesper, you find yourself asleep. Or in your room alone. Maybe waiting for Violet if you wanted to do that. And I
don't
want
think she'd be asleep yet.
and I want to ask you, Vesper. What is going through your mind after you have learned the technique that your master has given you? And I want you to, after doing that, describe the changes that your key is going through.
So, Vesper, after having read the scroll and finally having some time to herself with her thoughts to process everything that has been happening, at first, she broke down. She started crying, letting all the grief out from the losses, knowing now that even her master is gone, Grime is gone, don't know what's going on with Ketri. Shit's been not cool, basically. There's a lot of stuff happening, and she hasn't really had the time to go through that. There's some trauma. So at first, it's just the pure grief that she's finally able to let out in a place where she is relatively safe at the moment, and she can be vulnerable. But after, getting a good cry out, because, sometimes you just have to do that, she's going to try to basically meditate. She's going to go back to her old training. Everything that she had learned at the temple, and the things that she might have forgotten or might have stowed away in the back of her head. She will set both of her staffs out on the floor in front of her as she sits with her back to the wall. And she is going to close her eyes, and she's going to think back to her childhood. Her childhood spent at the monastery, how she ran away so many times and Niskata always brought her back. And she's going to remember the things that he told her about being strong in both her body and her mind, and about how important it is to learn from the past, but not to let the past hold you back. And she's going to think about Arthur and how devastated he was when he passed. And she's held on to that so tightly, that anger and that desire for revenge, that it's not anymore helping her. It is a hindrance. It is holding her back. And Arthur never would have blamed her. She knows that. He never would have held that against her. And she needs to respect his memory and let him go in peace. And Grime didn't give her an option. Grime stole choice from her. And she remembers on the boat to the tower, looking her in the eyes and believing every word that she said. Because she knew Grime. She knew Grime for so many years. And then she'll think about Gramps, staying back home in Solguk, where his services were needed to help a child in need. He might not be the coolest dad in the world, but, he's been Gramps for her, so he can be Gramps for someone else. And these are all people and experiences that have shaped her, that have molded her. But right now, there's so much more pressing chaos. And she has friends here with her now, standing together against this unimaginable evil, this giant wall that it feels like how the hell are we gonna do this?
It's not that bad.
There was a meteor, okay?
There was.
But she thinks about them and how they're all still there together, fighting this fight. And she knows that for her, in order for her to be the best, in the best place that she can be, she has to leave that in the past. She'll carry it with her always. But right now, she has to be present. And as
Hold.
Oh.
Before you say what you're going to say, could you please make a wisdom saving throw for me? The DC for this is 25.
18.
Proceed.
So, as she is meditating and she's feeling her ki, she's feeling her energy, she thinks back to how she left herself behind when they were bringing Wiley back. How she was in Violet's mind. And that feeling of like being more than just a mortal body. That feeling of connection with all of her friends. That is how her ki will elevate her to no longer age.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Do you feel yourself connected more than or you feel connected more than you've ever felt before, connected to your people? And you have reached this conclusion, or all of these conclusions regarding your past, and you have overcome them for now in a way. But they will gnaw at you still, Vesper. You've not shaken the mental scar yet. You were one step ahead, or one step forward in doing it. You're definitely closer with the conclusions that Vesper has come to, but you haven't shaken it yet. The Weaver will not let go that easily. And now that you will no longer age, would you like to sleep? Or not really, because I guess you shouldn't even give a shit about it.
I don't need to. She'll wait for Violet to come home.
Forever young. Alright, anyway. We're gonna hippity hoppity somewhere else. If we're done here, Vesper. By the way, are you switching attunement with your staves in any way?
Yes. Oh, that was switching to the Sorcery's Bane. Sorry, I meant to mention that, but I forgot.
Understood. Alright. Just for everybody at home, Sorcerer's Bane is the staff that goes really bonkers against casters. For anybody who's wondering. So let's hippity hoppity over to Hajral's solitary room, where he is sitting now. What is it that you wanted to do, buddy?
So last session, Haj contacted his brother, and it seemed that they were under siege of some sort. And seeing as Haj still has a measly spell point left in his arsenal, he wants to use it before he goes to bed to contact his mother.
All right.
So, as you might remember, last session, after getting out of his sending message and the retribution of sending with his brother, he felt quite afflicted. So, as he starts to stress and his stomach starts to sink, he will not move from his position and immediately cast sending once again to get in contact, this time with his mother.
Do it.
And the message that he's going to send is, "Mother, it is me. Tarhan told me of the attack. Are you alright? Where are you sheltered? Please stay safe."
You wait a moment. We're all right, Malrek. We're fine. We're in the shelters. The armies are protecting us. These things are ruthless. Your brother and I are going to move to Ergad, in the Hammerhead Mountains. They say it's safer there. Please live.
With this, Haj will let out a relieved sigh, and some weight, will lay off his shoulders for a while. Before he goes to bed, he will dedicate an hour of his time to praying to Dalgaar, so that his family may find guidance and safety. And he will also charge his Arcana Restoration device with a level 2 spell slot, but that's not as cinematic, so we're not gonna touch on that much.
We can touch on it. It's fine.
That's it.
All right. So you
I
go
have
to
a
sleep.
question
Go
about
ahead.
D&D in general.
Okay.
If G sends a casting... If G casts the sending spell, and he says like, you, does it count like 5 U's?
Because he stutters.
Oh no.
It depends on how I'm feeling.
Oh, okay.
That's too good.
Okay, I have that in my
Okay. Question is
It was an
answered.
important question to ask.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough. It had to be asked. Haj.
By the way, where is Ergyard, Onion?
Ergyad is in the Hammerhead Mountains, almost central to it.
Oh,
It is
yeah,
a city
I
of
see it.
dwarves. A city of
Ergyard,
dwarves.
yeah.
It's completely separate from Forshamir. But my
Okay.
friend, as you fall asleep, removing all of your armor, relaxing for what could be the last time in a long time, you smell the sea. And you feel a breeze on your face. You open your eyes and you move and you feel sand on your skin. Then the sun kissing your blue-scaled cheeks. The ones on your face, of course. A cleric.
I'm more relieved now.
A cleric is always properly dressed. And you find yourself on a beach. There's trees behind you, kind of as if a forest kind of slowly faded into a beach. And you see sitting on top of kind of a dead, long kind of sea-salted log, the back of a man with long blonde hair and a cloak of navy blue, very similar to the one that you're wearing. Heavy plate armor as well.
Do I see his face? How he looks like?
He's just staring at the sea, kind of off about 20-30 feet away from you.
What do I see around me? Only him? Nothing else?
It's him, a long beach of kind of almost silvery sand in a way, and then the forest behind you, and then cliffs that climb up very tall.
Do I notice that I'm dreaming?
Do you think you are?
Being on a beach, yes. I mean, if my memory is not that short, yes, I... But
Then
that's the thing with dreams, sometimes you never know. That's why I'm asking.
Perhaps you are. You have 22 wisdom now.
True. Some things aren't blissful anymore. Well, Haj, after taking a quick glance around and realizing where he is, he'll start approaching this figure slowly.
All right. As you approach, you kind of get within 10 feet. The man kind of says over his shoulder, "I thought you trusted me, Haj. Why are you so suspicious of my domain?"
I am not, my lord. I only wish to approach you.
Sit.
He does so.
And you see now his face, this, well, elves always look young, but you see an elven man with these very bright blue eyes that seem to occasionally kind of shift and vibrate in color at a rhythm, much like the ebb and flow of the sea. It's got pale skin, very kind of sharp features, even for an elf. And he was wearing plate armor, just full plate, completely pristine silver. And you see a sword kind of stuck, or I should say actually like stabbed into the ground a good few, like 5 inches, which is huge.
It's very big.
Yeah,
5 inches is big.
Yeah, it's a good measurement, good distance there.
One small thing. As soon as he turns around, Haj will, like he was sitting on his, let's say, like on his knees, he will immediately, like he will get on his horse and bow to him.
He will tell you, Haj, Race, we meet as equals today. Sit beside me.
I know that would never be possible, my lord, but I will oblige. And he goes on over to him.
How do you feel going into tomorrow?
I know not what it waits me, but as you know, I am always ready to go, raising the flag of Dalgaar, of peace, and of this world, as you know, my lord.
I know it very well. You will be needed, Haj. But I've come here to show you this.
And he points at his sword. This sword stabbed through many men and women, many whom I once called my brothers and sisters. Yet, it was in realizing how pointless the war we fought was that I gathered the strength to stop it. That's not the point. The point is, Haj, that for there to be a sheath, there must be a sword. The sheath is pointless without the sword existing. And the sword has to be drawn. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
The point of peace is to be that sheath. But peace would be pointless if we had not known war before. Do you understand that?
Of course.
Then whatever sins you think you have committed, Haj, relieve yourself from them. You do not need them where you are going.
As he says this, Haj will lower his head and he'll close his eyes. And he will take in the sound of the seas washing away, and he will do as his God proposed. He will start to think about his sins, his wrongdoings, and he will imagine them flowing away with the seas.
There is no man nor woman that walks this world that has not committed a sin against me or my brothers and sisters. Yet, there are those that choose to continue in those paths, and there are those that choose to do better. And you have always chosen to do better. Those burdens you have never deserved, Haj, and I do not want you to carry them. Know that penance is fine, but penance is not fine when it puts your friends and the world at risk. Do you understand?
Yes, my lord, I do.
Pelindan is obscured to me. I do not know what awaits you. And there is nothing else I can offer that I haven't already. Except my wisdom. Have you any questions, Haj?
Do I have any questions? Do
How
I?
to defeat an undead dragon?
I was waiting for that.
Can you please recommend a YouTube tutorial on how to defeat?
Please walk me
My
through
lord,
step
what
by
is the
step.
cheat code?
I'm gonna get his dinner real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Look at that good boy.
After some pondering, Haj will say, I don't think there is anything that your wisdom has not granted me yet, my lord.
That was the answer I was looking for. Your heart is resolute, Haj. And it is that same resolution that your friends will need. Guide them, steady them, as you have steadied all of those ships. That is your duty. From now on, it is not to save the world. It is not to go in pilgrimage. It is to steady your friends, to let them know peace when they most need it. Whatever small peace that may be, that will be your duty.
Haj, as he was sitting towards the seas next to him, he will now turn to him, and he will be kneeling on one leg, and he will say, You know it shall be done, my lord. Your wisdom is unparalleled, and I follow your guidance.
And do not worry about your family. My people will find them. They will be safe. I can see them as we speak. And as you look up into his eyes, you see reflections of your brother and of your mother running through tunnels underground, protected by guards and dwarven paladins that wear and bear the same symbol that you do.
He just watches in silence as his heart skips a beat.
Now stand.
And he does.
He stands with you, and he reaches his arm to grab yours.
He will inhale, and he will say, I will follow you, my lord, my friend. And he reaches out his arm to his.
And as you clasp in that strong handshake of Dragonborn and his god, you wake up with a new strength in your heart. But no new abilities.
Yeah.
All right. So, my friends, if that is all done, shall we proceed with the morning that isn't really morning because we live an endless night? Then, you all gather once again in Wiley's living room after waking
Did we get a
up.
long rest, by the way?
You may mark a long rest, my friends.
As we're going there, I look at Vesper. You slept well, I see. You look hotter.
You knocked the words out of me. I couldn't even.
She's not a lizard anymore. She's a dog.
She spoke Oliver there.
goodness. Vesper will just be like, I feel lighter. However, forgive me, Violet. I looked to you for strength, and I could not provide it. But now, I'm here with you.
Focus on the present.
Exactly. Together.
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 And then, as you join inside the room, Emily, you walk with your family, and you look different. A little bit more glamorous, shall we say. Tell us, please, describe us the differences in Emily's appearance.
The differences in her eyes. She has very, very, very round eyes that now look like they reflect the stories that she tells whenever, if that's like in a song or if it's in a tale, and people would get completely lost in them, almost like space-like, but also it can be with a desert. It will just have multiple colors and imagery.
Sick. You all see a different Emily this morning. A less insane Emily as well.
Yeah.
And as you all gather in that room and you look at yourselves, there's a sense of togetherness, unity, and how strong and renewed you all feel. Let's see if it lasts. So,
Because we all leveled up, chat.
they are level 15. Wiley is there to meet you. And as you walk inside, I trust that you have all slept well. You look better than you've looked in quite some time.
It seems we do.
We needed it.
Sometimes sleep really is the solution to all of our problems. Well, I will confess that I'm a little bit nervous today. It is a historical day for our world. Most of the lords of this continent are going to be gathered with us today. Evidently, there will be some missing. The Lord of Trahadare, or the Vrator, all of them, have denied under the command of Gelgrinal to join our alliance. They give us as a reason that Pelandan, or the Weaver, has not hurt their kingdom or their realm in any way, and so they will not provoke their ire. That speaks to me as them having some sort of deal with these entities. I don't trust Gelgrinal not one bit, and we would need their help in this, but they will not be there to give it. The people of Forshamir will also not be present. They are dealing with an attack in their kingdom, and they have much less territory to protect, so they will stay to defend. They don't have that much to give. Let's pray that the stubbornness of the dwarves and the power, the heart of the Dragonborn, if they are in any way like our friend here, will be enough to protect them from what is coming their way. Now, I understand that you're not tacticians, nor strategists, nor lords and ladies, but although you might not know war the same way that the people you will see do, you have valuable information. You have fought these things before, and you have fought them at length. They have started fighting them yesterday. So we will need you in this council. You will need to speak.
In public?
I'm good at that. I'm good. Yeah.
Whichever one of you wants to do it. We'll need your help. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
We have to.
You have to. Another thing. These are kings, empresses, ruling councils. Do your best to not be very brash and aggressive.
So, do not
Me?
be ourselves.
Never.
I'm not concerned about you, Emily. I'm more concerned about... And she points at Violet.
She'll behave, and I'll try to massage her shoulder.
Are you ready to go?
One question.
Yes.
Those that Galgrina leads, will they interfere? Or are they simply refusing to help?
The Vrator, much to Gelgrinal's, or due to Gelgrinal's pressure, are very conservative. They're very serious about the protection of their own kingdom. They will not risk their troops. They will not risk their people. I am sure of that. But Gelgrinal is slippery. He is the Vrator of power, and he is most likely among the most powerful wizards in the entirety of our world. We could have used his aid. But alas. Let's not cry over spilled deer milk.
Okay. Do we know if Gelgrinal is directly connected with the Weaver?
No, you don't. You have no knowledge of that.
Okay.
You don't even know who Gelgrinal is.
Yeah.
Right. So who is this Gelgrinal?
Well, she just told you.
More.
You just don't know him physically.
Does he have a wife?
What is his wife's name?
Are you all ready to go?
Hmm.
You leave.
Sure.
You leave Wiley's house. You traverse the routes from this complex network and web of routes that descends from above into this cavern underground and culminates at the end at the blue crystalline lake, or Forbidden Kool-Aid as it has become known, thanks to Ray. You traverse through suspended bridges to these structures that look like lily pads, or kind of just hung by vines that have these ivory wood structures, almost like gazebos on top of them. You cross them, you go to the central larger route, and you go into familiar elevator. You all descend slowly, surrounded by those same roots that twist and spear on down. After some time, you reach the platform where you met Wiley the last time you were here. It was this kind of vast wooden platform that had no one aside from Wiley last time. However, it is now full of people that you don't know. You see men and women wearing pure white armor and cloaks. One of them kind of wearing a monk's garments and a blindfold, but still kind of turning her head to look at you as the elevator comes down. You see another of blonde hair carrying a rapier, another one of like serious blue eyes and black hair with a giant polearm. You count 5 of them. I need a history check from the group, please. Yes!
I want to change my dress to represent all of the different areas of the planet. So
Fair
we're
enough.
like together, connected.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, history.
I rolled a natural one.
Nice.
I rolled a 12.
Emily has advantage on this. I forgot, because she's from Herskellen.
Again. That's cool.
Yeah.
11. Wow.
Nice.
How about...
Were we all supposed to roll?
Yeah. How about
Okay.
Violet and Vesper?
17.
Okay. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Vesper.
Dirty 20. Sorry.
Oh, that is enough. You, Vesper, surprisingly...
I know history now, apparently.
surprisingly, you know who these people are. These are Vordur of the King of Herskellen. You have heard in your stories of a restrict group of individuals, ministers, that the King of Herskellen surrounds himself with. These are warriors of legendary renown. Probably equal, if not, from a monk's perspective, probably equal, if not superior to you in combat prowess. They are, in appearance, as you all look at them, very serious people. Except for the blonde individual with the rapier, who seems to be more of kind of a flirty kind. He's kind of like looking all of you up and down with a raised eyebrow and a smirk. There is one that scares you, specifically Vesper. You feel a projection of ki in the region as you step into the platform yourself. And you see that woman with the blindfold. You see her chest, she has dark skin, and her hands are like fully wrapped, and around them she has these platinum bracers. Her blindfold has this symbol in silver, which is these scales that have a sword serving as the centerpiece, and the sword is kind of sheathed in a shield. And she just wears these vestments of these monk vestments, and her ki kind of pushes against your own. And you kind of sense her trying to gauge how strong you are. So I'll ask you if you will stand, or if you'll let her push in, or if you'll push back.
I'll push back.
All right.
Killer.
As you
More
push,
like, hey, don't fuck with me.
as you push back, you feel yourself bend her ki a little bit, but still, there's you're not sure if she's using her full strength, but it seems at least evenly matched. But you manage to bend it a little bit in a moment where she doesn't expect you to push back.
You.
Then, behind the Vordur, you see, kind of, they're keeping a distance. You see a group of mages wearing black and dark green robes. I'm gonna need another history check.
15.
Emily has advantage.
13.
Okay.
Where's history? I just picked.
18.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
See Haj?
6.
Emily knows who these people are. However, she doesn't know much information about them. These are the Drauguri. The Drauguri are a select kind of a sect, let's say, or school of mages, wizards, that are under service of the king. This order of mages was it resulted, or it was one of the resolutions or results of the civil war in Herskellen between paladins and mages long time ago, a few hundreds of years ago. They came to a middle ground where the king at the time agreed to create an order of mages to serve as protection to the realm. And these elite wizards are called the Drauguri. You don't know much more about what they do, what they can do. You've just heard that they're extremely effective.
How many are there?
Of the Drauguri, there are at least 12 of them. They seem to all be of the same rank. These that are bundled up there. You then continue on passing, and while he's kind of moving ahead of you and looking to the side and bowing to these people, you see all the Vordur bow in her direction immediately as she steps. And one of them, the man with the pole arm, instead of bowing, kind of just gives her a little salute. And they seem to be a little bit closer, or at least know each other and have known each other in some other circumstance. And then you see other figures bunching up together, kind of closer to these white armor wearing soldiers of Herr Skellen. But these others wear blue and silver robes and armor, not too dissimilar from the colors that Haj himself wears. You see mages, clerics, and fighters of Kerej. Possibly the very elite of them, that represent each of the 3 arms of the Runic Council. I'll need a history check.
Still advantage?
Not advantage for you now, advantage for Haj Dalgaar in this circumstance.
Okay.
12.
Oh,
Oh,
natural
13.
20.
I'm rolling like shit
I rolled the
today.
dog.
Okay, so I'll share this knowledge. The Kerej is ruled by the Runic Council. So this is a council of 3 people. And the 3 different branches of the army reside with the Divine Soul, which is also the name given to the member, the lady of the Runic Council that rules over this branch. Then there are those part of the Fist of War, which is also the same name given to the Lord that rules this branch. And then there are those that are part of the Mind's Eye, which are which is the same name of the Lord that rules over this. Now, Hajral, you have information regarding of who these people are, these lords and ladies. We will talk about that later. But then, as you continue moving on, more isolated and deeper inside the hollow root towards which you're heading, you see the bronze and red of the Soul Empire. You see a particular gentleman, very tall, chiseled jawline and kind of tanned brown skin, wearing bronze armor, tinted red on the edges of the plate, with the son of the All-Mother right at the front. He has kind of this golden curved sword, which is very broad and long, sheathed on his side. He bows to you when you pass. You all have no knowledge possible of who this person is, not even Vesper. It would not be someone that you would see frequently walking around. But you all hang out in this room, this kind of antechamber inside the Hollow Root, before the gates that lead you to the Asterized Council room. You see the same giant apes with kind of blondish hair and silverish hair, one on each side of the gate. It's kind of standing guard and looking around at everyone. You have a moment to breathe. If there's anything you wish to do or say, to Wiley, now is the time.
What are we supposed to... What information do we need to pass on? Is there anything we shall not past. Shut up.
She goes, I trust your judgment. Whatever you feel like needs to be said, say it. If you feel like it doesn't need to be said, don't. Answer their questions. Answer their questions. The ones that you deem are useful, the ones that you deem are not useful. Just tell them you cannot say it, that they will have to trust you.
And is there anyone to not trust entirely in this room that you know of?
If we want to win this, you must trust all of them.
And who is that man with the gold armor?
Who's that beefcake over there?
Who's that beefcake over there? And she looks at him, and he has been looking your way, quite, he's not hiding it. He's looking at you, and you sense that he's
Is he hot? Does he have a wife?
What's her name?
You sense that he's judging your combat ability. You see him look at your weapons. You see him look at see him look at Emily Flex. And he will say that, or she will say, that is the Sunblade, Osgur Nezaket, the High Sunblade, I should say. He's the highest general, military leader of the Imperial Armies of the Soul Empire.
Of the what, sorry?
The Soul Empire.
Okay.
And probably... Well, I hesitate to say this now, having seen Violet fight, but he's probably one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in this world. Not that you're that far behind, Vesper, but Violet's violence kind of reminds me of him a little bit.
I should invite him for a duel.
I've seen her do 221 damage in a single turn.
I counted.
I would like to see that duel one day. Maybe after all this is over. We're gonna need his strength as much as we're gonna need yours. Are you ready for this?
No. But yes.
Y'all ready for this? The gates into the Asterized Council open. You enter. You enter this circular room, and you see that the seats of this root, vine, and tree amphitheater are completely empty, save for the Asterized own seats on the far side. The druids that rule over Nadar, that rule here and from this city, or the archdruids, I should say, are presiding over this council. But on the floor where you have once stood, you see some of the most powerful people in the continent. First, you see a woman that you have seen before, a face that you have seen before at least. You see the Geunis Samrat, or the Empress of the Soul Empire, Diana Emir. You see a female Aasimar, slender yet strong body with broad shoulders and very noticeable muscular arms. Tanned skin with cracks that let out this golden radiance that also slightly exudes from the very tips of her eyes. On her forehead, you see the shape of a golden sun cracked into her skin as she is not wearing her crown. She has this very long, black, wavy hair. Beside her, and Wiley, let's say, will point out these members, and we'll introduce them to you before the council officially begins. You see Chancellor Ezgi Nezaket, wife to the man that you saw outside. High Sunblade Osgur. So you found the wife.
I know her name.
Yeah. You found the wife. See a female human, around her 30s or so, with brown eyes and these very prominent cheekbones, long wavy brown hair, and paler than usual skin for a Solisan. She's very short, and wears green robes with golden ornaments, and this kind of high golden collar that hangs behind her head, that kind of reaches into a crown. It kind of has like a shoulder element to it, and then reaches into an almost floating crown above her. And you see her very uncomfortable under that whole thing. She's constantly kind of squirming and trying to adjust the whole contraption. And you see the Empress kind of talk to her. You kind of see the lips of the Empress go, "You have to wear this today. Come on." Then you see King Magnus Verndari VII, the Morning Light, King of Herskellen. Male human, young, in his early 30s as well. Pale skin that seems to be kind of flush with these dark red veins around the cheeks and the eyes. He is freakishly tall for a human. As tall, if not taller than Thurihad, who is a half giant essentially. He has long black hair and these yellowish eyes. He wears the white and silver plate armor with a red cloak, with the silver embroidery of the righteous flame, the symbol of the shield and sword, and the flame in the shield. And he is the most striking image in the room. The Empress was impressive, but the king is scary. And he stands very tall and very straight and very serious.
Do we know how long he has been
A good few years. Because
you said he was
early 30s.
somewhere in his 30s. Okay.
King Magnus Verndari came to power very soon, or very early in his life, due to the death of his father. Beside him, there are two Vorder, the last two that were missing. You see Vorder Utherian Solskill, the Light's Shield, this male human with a dark skin, bald, and a thick bushy beard that carries a great shield that is as tall as Magnus the King. And as wide as he is, which is a lot, with the white righteous flame. He, however, wears black plate armor lined with silver. Then the other Vorder, the one who's missing, Vorder Laura Orr, the Light's Arrow, daughter of Count Matthias Orr of Mogrand. She is a female half elf, essentially.
Quarter elf?
She's a quarter elf. She has long black hair, pale skin. She keeps her hair in a ponytail. This big cheeks and dark blue eyes. She's smiling at this, kind of amused at how serious Magnus the King looks. She wears black leather armor over this dark blue cloth that resembles, for Emily knows, the colors of Mogrand, which are very similar. It's a very similar blue to Kareja Maz, but a slight bit darker. And she has on her back what seems to be a collapsible longbow. that is just kind of like folded together. It might be too big for anyone to ever touch it, but it is beautiful and intricately made in platinum. It is shielded at the guard. It is shielded enough for her, if she were to hold the longbow in front of her, it would protect her head. And she's just standing there and smiling at Magnus, and occasionally just kind of tapping him in the waist, which is where she gets to with her elbow, as he is very tall. And now, also in this room, the 3 members of the Runic Council of Kerajamaz, which Haj Dalgaar knows. You see the Lady Galgalaris Animus, the Divine Soul, female high elf with a long blonde hair, and these kind of curtain bangs that lead into 2 big strands that then rest on her chest. Very thin eyebrows and bright green eyes. She wears this long, shoulderless white dress with that navy blue trim. Son of a bitch. Fucking mosquito.
Nice.
That long blue trim, navy blue trim on the long bell sleeve. Sorry, I said long blue. That's not a color.
The big blue. Could you repeat her name and title? I missed it. Sorry.
Lady Galgalaris Animus is her last name, and her title is the Divine Soul. The same title as the branch she rules. Then you see Lord Corvus Elcariel, the Fist of War. Male high elf, long black hair with silver strands, side shaved, with kind of lines on the side. His eyebrows are slightly thicker than usual for an elf. He has green eyes and wears this sleeveless, double-breasted black vest that has kind of no popped collar. It's just kind of wrapped very tightly around him, which shows his prominent pectoral muscles. He also wears black silk pants, and he has a dragon wing tattooed on his left arm and a dragon claw on his right. And then finally, you see Lord Elrin Menadrim, the Mind's Eye. Also male high elf, long silver hair with 2 braids that kind of merge in the back into a single one, very thin eyebrows and pale gray eyes. He wears gray robes with multiple shades of the color in multiple geometrical patterns, with a prevalence for triangles. These people, these elves that are in front of you, are very old. Probably as old as the archdruids of the Asterai, if not older. You would know that Lord Corvus is the oldest of them. You do not know their age. Unless you want to ask, but that's kind of rude.
How old are you?
What was the last one's name?
Lord Elrin Menadrim. I'm sorry, these are a lot of names, guys. I know.
And what was Corvus' title? Sorry, I got Divine Soul and Mind's Eye. Which one was the other one?
Corvus is the Fist of War.
Fist of War, that's the one thing.
I like him.
Fisting fan 99.
What the fuck? I swear to God, I played against that guy on Quidditch Champions, dude.
Did you beat him?
I most certainly did. I didn't play. I might have not played against that guy actually, but I did play against Cringelord 21. If you're out there, you got me good that one game. Anyway, you all split up, or the various groups kind of split up, stand, and you see that very purposefully, the Soul Empire delegates are on the opposite side of the floor as the Herskellen delegates, and the Runic Council is kind of in the center, a little bit leaning towards Herskellen.
Is
We're at
the
war, right?
sorry?
Yeah, the Soul Empire and Herskellen were at war.
Yeah.
Is the Chancellor the wife of the other one?
Yeah.
Does she resembles Princess Diana?
No, not at all.
Okay.
The wife of the other one. It's like she didn't want to disrespect her that much of calling her the wife of, and so she just called the other one, you know, so she was equally disrespectful to two of the highest ranking people in the Soul Empire. That is Violet, guys. That's Mizzy role-playing Violet very accurately. So, as everybody finds their place, I would like to ask you, where are you standing?
Right in the center. We are the four.
I would stay by Wiley.
Wiley will
Wiley is
stand wherever
safety.
you stand.
Oh boy. Okay, what is the disposition? So this is like
A circular room, a circular floor. There's an
Okay.
amphitheater of like chairs all around you made of wood and root and vine, and kind of vines dropping down, trees kind of inside this hollow root. And then it goes down into a circular floor, and ahead of the floor there's the four seats of the Asterai, and it is in this floor where everybody is. So
okay,
the Soul
so
Empire...
everyone is on the same level.
Yeah, the Soul Empire is standing to the left. The remaining are standing to the right, with the Runic Council kind of closer to the center. And the Asterai are, well, they are one level above you because they are presiding over the council. They are on their seats.
Well, I don't know.
The only one that we have had any interaction with was Diana, and that was when we were fleeing the tower.
Indeed, but I will also like to refer to the fact that King Magnus is Emily's king, technically. And I would also like to refer to the fact that the Runic Council, and specifically Lady Galgalaris, are faithful to Apec, god of peace, which your boy is faithful to, one of his aspects.
So can we sit like in the middle, but a little bit to the runic? Is it runic?
Runic Council, yeah.
Runic Council.
Does everyone agree?
But like standing, like giving the impression that we're not really on a side, but we like them more.
Are there any seats below the council?
No, this is just the regular floor has no seats. So you're all
So
standing.
we're just all standing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, where's the Switzerland of this place?
Can we fly and be in the air?
Chug
Not
chug
thinking
potion
it's
I
of
have one
flying.
potion of flying.
Yeah.
Guys, this is important.
Yeah, that's why we can't choose, okay?
I mean, if we do just say dead center, we're not choosing anything. We're being neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just telling that we're not picking sides. We're not in this war. We're above that, way above that. We stand with the world.
Are you
It's
standing?
bigger than your
Stand
little war.
Are you standing ahead or behind them or level with them?
Level. I would say level, right? Behind, it's like we're beneath them, which we are not. Above, like
We kind
it's like we're superior, we're not as well. Same.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, leveled.
All right,
if
so-
it was only Violet, I would be on
She
top
would
of
be-
them.
She would be standing on top of the Asterai.
You'd be
yeah.
on their shoulders.
Oh, like-
yeah.
But like crowd surfing.
Yeah.
But it's not only Violet, so I'll say yeah, leveled.
Fair enough. We're going with the bitch option.
Switzerland.
So, I'm just kidding. All options are irrelevant and
options.
fine.
Bitch
No,
Are
no.
relevant and fine.
No. All right. So, as you take your stance in your position, Lord Irgan Elix stands as you all kind of settle in. You know him to be obviously Wiley's father. He stands kind of wearing his wooden armor that kind of is wrapped itself around him, kind of almost groan around him, and that only lets a little bit of his robes kind of come out almost as a waistcloth behind him. The same armor that he revealed when you guys had that altercation with the lady who is here, the other member of the council, and he has that woman kind of embracing him, made of wood, in the armor as well. And he stands up. The Aster I declare this war council open. We are all gathered here today in the aftermath of the large-scale attacks you have all suffered at the hands of this power we do not fully understand yet. And immediately, King Magnus takes one step forward. Hundreds of thousands dead because the Empress couldn't keep her own friends safe. Yes, I'd recognize the Grand Arcanist's hand in this even if it was covered in shit. When you're as lenient as the Empire in their laws, what would one expect but leniency in their defenses too? And the Empress takes a step forward. Perhaps if you didn't have our forces committed to the borders, we could have afforded to defend her, Magnus. It is you who attacked, Empress. We defended ourselves. I seek only to free your people from your iron fist, and for a better place for my people to live. And Lord Irgan, you kind of sense this rumble of roots being thrown up into the room as the kind of wood creaks loud. And he goes, "Silence, you petulant children. You have agreed to settle your squabbles for now. All of us are at fault for not recognizing this threat sooner, for looking only at ourselves. But now there are more pressing concerns at hand." And Lady Galgalaris steps forward and says, "Indeed, peace, both of you. Whatever disagreements we have can return once this threat is removed." You see King Magnus take a step back, and the Empress does the same. Lord Irgan takes the floor again. "As you know, the enemy has set its base in Pelindan. Our scouts report an army amassing outside the city proper. Legions and legions of creatures of horror, men and women turned into eyeless pale servants and golems of shadow. But they cannot see deeper into the city. A decision must be made. But first, we must be well informed. I call the Four to provide us with counsel." Wiley begins shoving you forward.
Is it like the moment where like everybody's head turns and looks at you? And you're
Yes.
I whisper to the rest of the group, being like, act confident, and then I'll act. I'll bring my actress powers, and I'll just walk super proudly, super confident.
All right, everybody's head turns to you.
Haj
That's
walks
right,
in with
yeah.
his chest puffed. I mean, not chest puffed, but you know,
Yeah,
with a decent posture. Let's say.
You're walking proud, strong.
Yes.
Do you want me to talk?
I can just I have no idea how to say it in English now, but you know when you have your voice, like actor voice, and it's super loud.
Wanna project
and
your
everyone
voice?
Can hear you clear. Project,
Yeah.
yeah, projecting. Thanks. I'm projecting my voice, being like, "Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here in your very, very gracious presence. We would like to share some information with you about our urgent state." And then I look at Violet.
My lords, my ladies, we have fought directly with our enemy. At first, we encounter a larger than usual whale with no eyes and with scales. That was just the beginning. When we entered Kaifam, we fought. What did we fought?
Thread?
I don't remember.
A
what
thread.
thread?
You fought a thread.
Yeah, the thread.
Oh, we fought the first thread we saw.
What is a thread?
We believe it's a pawn created by the Weaver. It's a humanoid with tentacles. Now they
It's-
are everywhere.
Yeah.
You see, you see Laura or the Vorder like ruffle through something in like a small bag she has to the side, and she pulls a head out that looks just like the head of the thing you fought. And she goes, "You fought this, have you?"
Yes, my lady.
Oh. And you brought it down?
We brought a lot of them down.
Well, this took a lot from us. Good on you. And she places it back in.
We also defeated servants of the Weaver.
Three Head's not here, right?
No, he's not.
We believe the Weaver raised dead people to become their servants. We defeated two of them. Three? Well, three had.
Yorick.
Yorick. And that was it. Elisa escaped.
We defeated two of them. We know there's one more. And then the direct pawns, Kelana and Gogi, are still free. And out there.
You see Lady Galgalaris step towards you. Their leadership. Two of them, then?
That we know of.
No more. We received information about twins.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have spoken to them in a nightmare, shared by all of us.
Lord Corvus steps forward. The Elberos were our responsibility. We have failed to deliver this world from their evil. They lived with us, amongst our nobles. What can you tell us of them now?
We know they are powerful. But we know?
You guys are free to chip in. It doesn't have to just be Violet speaking.
I mean,
They, much like the others that are associated with the Weaver, seem to have extraordinary powers of being able to locate people that have been in contact with the Weaver, and they also have the power to probe into the minds and dreams of others, which in turn causes the surges of insanity that we have been witnessing. This is no small matter.
Lady Galgalaris goes, and are they close to the leadership, or are they servants of the leadership?
We believe if they are not equal to Gogi and Kelana, they are above.
We should also mention, Your Highness, that we have had 2 close encounters by now with this Kolana figure, and they were 2 near-death experiences. Well, in one of them, and Hajra looks at Wiley, it was indeed a death experience. But thanks to the graces of Dalgaar, no long-term casualty happened from that encounter.
Oh, aside from the giant crater in the Elderwood Forest.
Of course.
So it
We
was
also
her.
have information that there might be a resurrected dragon.
And you see Magnus react to that. He just the faintest hint of a raised eyebrow at what you said.
We still don't know, but there's a possibility that they can resurrect the largest, I don't know if it's the largest, but the most dangerous dragon we knew, which is Tazaroth.
How would they go about doing that? The king, Magnus, asks.
Again, this is just a possibility. We don't know if that happened, but they might have the dragon's call, the horn.
Yeah. the
They
horn.
all
Control a
recognize it.
dragon.
And the
that-
bones of Tazra.
Still, they would need a powerful soul to trade for Tazaroth's. Do they have this in their possession?
They do. It was our first task. The task that began our journey. I look at Wiley to see if she approves of what I'm going to say.
She's going to interject and say, although he would fit such a role, there's another.
They have two powerful souls. Aiden Dragonsbane and my daughter Ketri.
Lady Galgalaris goes, if that is the case, then we must assume that they will achieve it. In our travel there, however long it takes for us to reach, it will already have been too late. The Empress finally steps forward and she goes, so, if I understand correctly, there is Tazaroth, the Green Tyrant, who had enslaved the entirety of humanity, alive and inside the city of Pelendan. The Grand Arcanist of the Soul Empire, commanding and teleporting their armies. And then there's this Aiden Dragonsbane. And she looks at Emily and at all of you. Why is Aiden Dragonsbane important?
Emily?
He just is, okay? Just trust us.
There are things we cannot disclose fully in order to keep everyone safe.
I need you to roll a persuasion check.
Please,
boy.
please, the rules, please. Persuasion,
Persuasion.
please. 24.
Damn.
Pretty good.
She kind of backs off of that point. I understand. It seems that these creatures can reach our minds. What do you need from us?
An army.
Everything. We need to fight.
We believe
For
we
our
are close
people.
to war. Not a war within ourselves. And I look at the king. But a war against creatures we would never imagine to see.
The King Magnus goes, "How do we best fight this? Weaknesses, anything you can say."
We need to fortify our minds. Everyone needs to fortify their minds, since they can easily access it. We need to stay together, keep our faith up, and believe in each other.
We need everyone to learn the spell Patronus.
You see a man kind of materialize almost from the shadow of King Magnus, kind of coming from behind him. Male human, short gray hair, probably 70-something years old, 60-something years old, but he looks really good for that. Wrinkled face with a giant chemical burn on his right eye that is now kind of covered by an eye patch. He carries this kind of permanent look of disdain and has this it's very kind of this beard that frames his face very well, makes his jaw look very strong. And he wears dark green and black robes with the flaming pale green skull of the Drauguri. This is Archdraug Sondor Vilethorn, the leader of the Drauguri. And he goes, "I suppose protection for the mind can be arranged to some degree, but not for everyone. Besides, my lord, if I may, I believe your faith in Rauno the Righteous is already enough to protect you. It is them I am concerned about." And he points at you guys. "How do we know that you have not fallen to these creatures' machinations?"
Because if we had fallen, we wouldn't have eyes anymore.
And we wouldn't be here.
He seems to be satisfied with the answer for now.
And I would assure you that the Weaver's tactics do not seem to be of deceit, but rather of brute force, as you have witnessed very well.
But the Empress goes, "A very astute observation. So you need our armies. Your armies you shall have." And Lady Galgalaris of the Runic Council, you see that that Lord Elrin Menadrim, the Mind's Eye, he's kind of keeping a more analytical approach to the meeting. He's got his hands together, rubbing them, kind of looking at each and every one, and you see something that is very similar to, well, something you've seen Emily use. You see a little piece of parchment and a quill floating on his side and writing as he kind of whispers to the side.
Cool.
The lady,
who is this person with the parchment?
it's the Mind's Eye. It's Lord Elrin Menadrim. Lady Galgalaris goes, "Well, the resurrection of Tazaroth is the most problematic. If the Green Tyrant fights on the side of the Weaver, there will be no army to resist her. She must be destroyed before taking flight. If her rot touches our troops, it will spread quickly and viciously." And the king goes, King Magnus, "Indeed, but Pelandan is dark to our eyes. We cannot hope to breach its walls without knowing what's around it. But if the most recent attacks have taught us anything, it is that their troops are numerous. If the reports really do, or really are accurate, if there are thousands upon thousands, this fight will be a difficult one." They have been building this army this whole time. We will, indeed, find heavy resistance, and we can't commit our full forces since their attacks continue in our homelands. And the Empress goes, then it is that we must kill the Grand Arcanist as well. Denise would want us to do so. If we take her out, their ability to attack our homes and replenish their troops becomes diminished. The king adds on, as you see both of them kind of flowing off of each other in a way that you had not thought possible given the initial engagement. I agree. We must make a full frontal assault and distract their armies, while perhaps a smaller team attempts to infiltrate Pelandan and deal with the more specific targets. And Lady Wiley steps in between all of you and goes, this won't be the final battle. In Lady Galgalaris, it will not. King Magnus you see him kind of flush a little bit with that red. His skin is like so pale that you notice kind of the flow of blood in his skin as he gets more angry or gets angrier, he gets more excited, he gets more passionate. It kind of just this flow of blood that you can clearly see in his face. As he goes, what do you mean? Lady Wiley, with so many targets, we won't be able to approach their leaders. As long as Gogi, Kilana, and as Violet mentioned, maybe the Alberos twins live, this world is not safe. There is a war underneath the war, and a war that only a few can fight. And she kind of looks among all of you. But you recognize the same objectives we do you not? Lady Galgalaris asks. I do. I agree with King Magnus. On the day that started all of this, the guild had discovered secret passages that were being built beneath Pelandan. There are multiple entrances, and I know they will lead inside the city somewhere. But I don't know how the paths really work inside. Those maps have been lost to me. And inside Pelandan, as you have mentioned, there are 3 goals. Kill the Grand Arcanist, prevent Tazaroth from being released, or destroy her if she has already. And another one, to find Aiden Dragonsbane and bring him to us. We must make 2 smaller teams, take them into these passages. They must evaluate and decide which of these missions can and should be complete. And she looks at you again. King Magnus goes, we have no one to offer for this. My Vordur and the Drauguri must be present in the larger scale battle if we are to even stand a chance. The Empress, so must my Vitromancers and all my Sunspears. And Lady Galgalaris goes, I agree. Lord Corvus immediately steps, the city of Krega will be flying with all our armies and our cannons. We will spare none. And Lady Wiley goes, we were not asking, my lords and ladies. We already know who must go. And she looks at you guys.
Very well. I will turn to Empress Diana. Empress, we know about your friendly relationship with the Arcanist. If the time comes, should we kill her?
Without hesitation.
Very well.
You see the Chancellor that is not spoken yet, just shyly behind her. When you say that, or when the Empress says this, it hits the Chancellor. There's one thing that you notice between all the people here. The Empress Diana seems to be very close to the Chancellor. as she was seemingly close to the Grand Arcanist. You notice that despite him being this figure of, this kind of strength and this pillar of a man, King Magnus occasionally, whenever in the middle of conversation Laura makes a joke, he will, the corner of his mouth will raise. There is kinship, true kinship, behind all of these. There isn't with the Runic Council. You do not sense the unity that you sense in these other groups. But you don't sense much from them other than age. And the depth of their eyes there's much more to them than there is to all the others. And you're unsure if this unity is present within them, but you wouldn't ever be able to know. Because out of everyone here, the Runic Council are the ones that show the least, with their face and with their demeanor. Empress Diana, kind of rounding up everything as she discusses it with the Chancellor, as everyone kind of goes into a little bit of a discussion with their own groups, she goes, "Very well. So, if I am to understand this correctly, the forces we can spare will fly on the cities of Gand and Kriega and meet the armies of Nightmare in open battle. While the battle rages, 2 teams will infiltrate Pelandan and attempt to cause a major blow to the enemy. More than one blow. Hopefully." The king goes, "The Weaver will fall under our righteous sword. The honorless will burn in the righteous flame." And Lady Galgalaris asks the question that everyone has been dying to hear. "And when do we leave?" And Wiley, as quick as she could possibly say it, "Today, in an hour."
Before that, is there a way for us to have kind of a distraction in Pelandan above ground?
When you say that, Lord Corvus laughs, and he goes, "Is a city loaded with arcane cannons the size of buildings enough of a distraction for you?"
I guess so, yeah.
My city has been preparing for this ever since it rose from the ground. Hundreds upon hundreds of years ago. We will give you all the distraction you want.
I like him.
And my heart
I'm pumped now.
skipped a bit.
The gilf pulling up.
Now, see,
It's always-
you guys, you motherfuckers, were complaining a bunch of times that I only made annoying merchants, and now apparently everyone's a gilf.
Yeah, a gilf spree. A gilf
Everyone
spree.
is horny.
Look, I'm not saying it would be hilarious if somehow Quibble showed up in Pelandan, but it would be fucking hilarious if Quibble showed up in Pelandan.
He's just there running with a huge backpack and his little gnome
Like, I
feet.
got stuff for you guys!
Yeah.
You can't blame me. I've been playing Dragon Age 2. I want to romance every character now. Okay?
And Vesper's just there, I guess.
Like, okay. Sorry.
I'm talking as Mizzy, not as Violet.
Oh, okay, understood.
Violet only has eyes for her pink lizard.
Oh.
Gay! Just out from above in the roots.
There he comes. Here he is again.
We don't know how he keeps getting in.
Fuck! Where is he?
He keeps He keeps cast sending like this.
Yeah. Dude, you guys you find out in the end of the campaign, it's the Weaver. He's been the Weaver
Go.
all along, just fucking screaming. That's the Weaver. He's already here. Lord Irgan rises, and he goes, "Well, then, time is of the essence. Our druids will march and fly with you. Bless you, Violet. Oh, forgive me. They will march and fly with you, and stand in battle among you." And you look. Sorry about that. That was me coming out for a moment. You see. Oh my god. Sorry, my notes just freaked the fuck out. It scrolled up and down a bunch. That was weird.
Freestyle.
Yeah, they just actually freestyled on me. But you see Lady Delisi, the one with that kind of spiked brown hair that looked like a lion's mane. The one that you have named the bitch. She stands up and goes, "Before we end this, I owe an apology to the four of you. Do not push it. I'm sorry. I sought only to protect my people.
Now we will protect even more."
You see Lorieth, the other archdruid with the long, like, bright red hair and the weird eyes that are just looking everywhere. She goes, "That's as much as you're gonna get out of her."
It's enough.
Lord Irgan says, "The war council is over. To battle." And Lord Magnus, you see him kind of out of his back. He kind of swings his hand above his head and pulls out of his back from the ether as it kind of burns in this white flame, this enormous greatsword that is just kind of pure steel,
Damn.
shiny, perfectly polished, holds like no ornament whatsoever other than the solid might of his blacksmiths, and he raises it up to fucking war. And
Frodo!
Let's go.
And then he swings his sword to Violet. "Approach."
Oh, why approach?
And as you stand next to this man, you see your face is about like a little bit under chest height from him. And Violet's pretty tall. I just gotta just in. We got a raid. Thank you very much to whoever raided us. Appreciate it. I heard a sound. Thank you very much for that. But continuing on, I believe this was another bald man that did that. Thank you to that
Fellow bald man.
But as you approach and you step forward, Lady Galgalaris goes, "You," and she points at Haj Dalgaar. "Come here."
He does?
And then you see the Asterai, Lord Irgan. "Vesper, please approach."
Okay.
And the Empress, the Bard, please approach.
The Emily, actually.
I approach.
Lord Magnus, or King Magnus, raises his sword and kind of places it in front of you. "Kneel."
That's a bow.
He...
I can kneel while sitting down.
Dude, this guy is such a bitch.
Not devoted to Warpy. My immersion is broken. I'm leaving.
Imagine
Gosh, that's not a kneel.
Fucking Haj Dalgaar is just walking to Galgalar's and he goes, Violet, that's a bow.
Damn, he got sassy.
King Magnus goes, I bestow upon you the righteous flame. And he kind of knights you in a way. And you see Violet's fists ignite in white flame. Violet, would you be so kind as to add the following feature to your character called, well, the Righteous Flame? And read it out loud for us, please.
Yes. Wait, I can't.
You can search yet.
I can't search.
I'm gonna snoop.
It's like, let me see.
It's probably in Legacy now, right?
It should be Homebrew. Shouldn't be separate from everything else.
Oh, Homebrew. There it is. Okay. Righteous for the. There's nothing on the R. It's the Righteous Flame.
Wait. I'll confirm that I wrote the Righteous Flame.
Because
I'm sorry. It's Carrier of the Righteous Flame.
Okay, so chosen carrier, emboldened by the flame. Thou art not of passing skill. Cool.
Lol.
Whenever you use a Divine Smite feature, it counts as if the spell slot consumed was one level higher than the one you choose.
This is also going to eliminate the cap of 6d8 Smite dice, which means you can go higher than 68 on Smite, if that ever comes to be relevant. But from now on, you use a first level, counts as a second level. Use a second level, counts as a third level.
Okay.
Lady Galgalaris talks to you, Haj, and she goes, I understand that you are chosen by him. Haj.
Yes? I have now?
She talked to you. She said...
Oh, I have to... she expects an answer.
Yes.
I'll say, yes, Your Highness.
Then... And she kind of...
by the way, how do knights kneel in this, to the Runic Council?
You can kneel however you would like, my friend.
But do they have anything like with weapons or something? Do they have any ceremony?
No.
Okay, but I do the
important.
Yeah, I do the kneel nonetheless.
Right. Okay. She kind of out of nowhere, you see her kind of wave her hand, and water kind of drags all across, and it kind of forms just a single droplet. And she says, open your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Haj will look up and he will oblige.
And she will pour that single droplet in you. Haj, would you be so kind as to add and read Peaceful Respite?
Peaceful Respite.
Or Respite, however you feel like pronouncing it.
Let's see where that is. Okay, there it is. Description, the flavor text. When he raised his sword, the lake was left behind. When he raised his sword, all others lowered theirs.
It's supposed to be lower, that's a typo, I'm sorry.
And so it was that they could finally rest. So, divine peace, once per long rest, while you were taking a short rest, you and up to 6 other creatures gain the effect of a long rest, and have advantage on all wisdom saving throws for the next 8 hours.
That's huge.
Bless Dalgaar. And the Runic
Damn.
Council, I guess.
Fine.
Nice. Thank you, Daddy DM.
Wow. Vesper. You see Lord Irgan go. You are an unlikely but suitable vessel for what I will give you. Your body no longer ages. I can sense it. And only a body as strong as yours would be able to handle this. And you see him, the face by his side of the armor that's kind of embracing him. You see him with his finger carve like the cheek, and it begins bleeding with sap. It's kind of golden sap. And he takes it off and kind of pours it in a little vial. He gives the vial to you. Drink.
Thank you for believing in us.
Vesper, if you would be so kind as to add Root of All Life to your features, please, and read it out loud for the class to hear.
Of all life. If it loads, there it goes. And so it is that the Elder Root has stood tall and permanent across the memory of the world, but was it always there? Want of Soul. Your key has been empowered. While concentrating in Guardian of Nature, you regain 1 key point at the start of your turn.
Ooh,
Damn.
nice.
And
We're getting
finally,
buffed, boys.
and finally, the Empress speaks to you, Emily. And she goes, I have stared into your soul. I see that darkness clouds it and surrounds it. Is it true?
Maybe.
You see her hair kind of begin to drift and float a little bit, and her eyes just give you a flash of golden. As she goes, well, Emily, no matter how dark it gets, the dawn will always come. And if you would be so kind as to add the feat named The Dawn Will Come, and read it out loud for the class to hear.
If my internet allows.
If not, I can do it for you if you want to.
Nightmares fall and hope has fled. Steal your soul, the dawn will come. The night is endless and the path unseen. Look to the sky, for one day soon the dawn will come. The sun always rises. Whenever you or an ally within 10 feet fail a saving throw that can be repeated in subsequent turns, you gain a bonus to that saving throw equal to your charisma modifier. Ooh, interesting.
So that is for everyone within 10 feet of you. So let's say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna pick the classic target. Let's say Violet is stunned.
Yeah.
and then you're next to her. She can add your charisma modifier to her saving throw afterward, after she fails the first one.
Noise.
Which is a lot.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, blessings have been given to the 4 of you. The council is over. And people start pouring out and kind of running and gathering with the Vorder gathering back with the king, and the Sun Spears and the armies of the Soul Empire kind of leaving the place. You see multiple elevators now descended and flowing back up with all of these groups of people. And Wiley kind of sits at that platform alone with you as she goes, the 2 teams. You're one of them. The other team seems it has been a gift given to us, but I see only one possibility. Tunelasian Meadowfalls and Sagran Bladium will join Thurihad and Yorick in fighting or finding the Grand Arcanist. They will fly with you, but separate and go to another one of the passages. You must understand we have to keep you split if we are to have the best chances. Are you ready for war?
We must.
And let's do it. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Are we going to play with the other characters? Are we, DM?
Yes, you are. There will be a one-shot.
Holy, that's so cool.
There will be a one-shot where if the people would so desire... Sadly, Ray, you're out. You're not...
Can't be there.
You can't be the...
Character.
It is possible. I will see. I'll see into that. But there will be a one shot at some point. If you guys would be willing to do this, where you can pick up Tunalasia, Sagrin, Thurihad, Yorick, and maybe a new character for Ray to be there so that she doesn't feel left out. And you go seek the Grand Arcanist in Pelandan and fight the Grand Arcanist. All right, that's it.
And maybe save her. I want to save.
Let's see. Let's see what's gonna happen. If you save her, you might get bonus points with the Empress.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But would Sagrin want to save her?
If she gives money, yeah.
I think Empress Diana is probably pretty loaded, so
that is the simplest. That is Sagrin logic. It's the simplest possible answer.
paid or not paid.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. People that were out there, really appreciate it, and thank you guys for playing and for hanging out in today's Council of War. I hope you enjoyed this little moment.
Yes.
I hope you liked it. It wasn't too aggressive. I made sure that I didn't raise too many problems. Because everybody's united in this. It's either this or
They've
the world.
seen it now.
Yeah, it's either this or the world ends. So there isn't a choice. Thank you to Fish as well for playing outside of her usual place. Thank you, appreciate it. The Mental Institution also would like to thank them for letting Fish play from inside to allow for.
They're gonna say you're welcome. You see? No?
Yep, we certainly heard some voices. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We will be back hopefully next week on Sunday. However, Sunday. So
The next session of Requiem, the only campaign where the DM makes a person spit in the cleric's mouth. See you next time.
It wasn't spit, it was holy water.
That's what they call it there.
Holy spit.
Holy spit indeed. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Take care. Thank you so much for all the support. Let's go to war.
Let's go to war.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.